For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafowethu, Coach for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiskiTV.
iDiskiTV, powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Orlando Pirates 0, Pyramids 0, kumdlalo we-CAF Champions League semi-finals, midlala phake FNB Stadium. One shot on target for Zombies team. Xa bendimamele i-predictions on Friday, bekhe ndamamele i-predictions. Ndava Mr. Gay usithi it might be a typical African football game. And then andingomntu uthanda uzifunda i-comments. And then I was reading i-comments. All is negative about South African football, but I wonder what are they saying about now when it's 0-0. Elando be predictive exactly. Which shows ukuthi sometimes kakuthiwa into inje boku believe even if awukholwa kuyo, but ke singabantu sine opinions zingafaniyo. Lindo mandokubulisa mfethu bese ndibulisile yabo sekulate
ngofuna ngabheka singafunda ama comments ngaphatha i-depression kuba mina ngidlalela lapha
that was my first advice and ifumana kanifika to okay I know uyathanda ukufunda but there ngicela uzungayifundi yenza nje show yakho uphuma mgodu
mawungathi mahupa watu lindakalazi ibhola mina ngizingene it's better if you don't know mfana. It's better if you don't know.
Lindo is 0-0.
Yeah.
Orlando Pirates 0, Pyramids 0. Ubona njani umdlalo?
To be honest with you, Shane, it's a draw game. Yeah. You know what? I want to give congratulations to the Croatian tactician. I think he comes into that Pyramids team, Shane, and I think he revolutionized. I think it's not a team that gets a lot of coverage in Egypt. They beat FAR Rabat 4-1. They don't have the coverage. They are leading Egyptian league on 6 points. Nobody gets they don't get the coverage. They conceded the less goals this season. They are the second best scoring team in the Egyptian Premier League. You look at the experienced players that they have. I think they only have one 26-year-old. You look at players like Center back Abu Usami. 33-year-old experienced Egyptian centre back. You look at Ibrahim lengwenye edlala embizeni konje babiza bani leutaki Ibrahim, I just forgot his name now. I think Ibrahim Toure, special midfielder in my opinion. I think on the ball looks very good. I think we connected the defense and the attack. Uchekufiston Maela as well got an opportunity today, should have scored in my opinion, that free header. But just away from that, I think he is a ceiling raiser from some of the strikers that we've seen in the African competition. I thought initially I want to see more. The initial reaction was, can he create space for himself? Is he a typical striker that Coach Nabi likes, Maurice Chivavaro, because obviously they are chasing his signature? Is he a ceiling raiser above Obama Hope and Omabasa? In my opinion, Orlando Pirates brings him through. He makes you guys better. I think that's the striker that you guys need to profile. Very big, very strong, he's got a very good first touch. I think he's got an eye for a goal. I like a striker that always wants to score, Shane. And when you are watching Fiston Maela, you get that feeling that, yes, he's not that guy who's going to create space for himself. His game's got vision, but I think he's another Peter Shalulile kind of profile, where he gets into the box, he only needs one touch. Clinical finishing, he's got the right presence as well. I like his body. I like the presence that he brings into the game. But very impressed by the Croatian tactician. I think Mr. Junior mentioned something very important. Noto is that I think these teams, I say Egypt, Shane, I think they are probably, you know what? I think this has been a learning curve from all of us in the Champions League. I think now we are starting also to profile these North African teams because there's so many of them. There's so many of them. And we get to understand that also these countries have different cultures, different traditions in terms of football. You look at the teams from Morocco. There was a period where Egypt was doing very well when we were younger. Abu Mohamed Abu Trika and so many players that they had. We grew up knowing that they've got the most technical players in Africa. Yes, maybe not physical, but they've got a lot of speed and they're very technical and they're coachable players as well. I think they play a lot under instruction because they're willing to suffer. You know, more especially when they play away. They understand that science, technologies, things that I think they brought years ago because they had the money and the finance to do that. I think their planning was exceptional. You listen to the coach during the week. People can go and read that article, Good Times, where he expresses where he got pyramids. The fact that even in Al-Ahly in Egypt, The fact that we are talking about it now, nobody knew about the team. They don't get the coverage. Probably by Bafana almost like a Sundowns ngai. Nobody wants to talk about them and the achievements that they've made since 2020, since 16. I think they were bought. I think they were formed in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, investment ka Sheikh Mansour. But to be honest with you, Shane, for me, I was very surprised. I think these two teams, Al Ahly and the Pyramids, they came into South Africa and I think they played better than our South African teams. I did not expect the approach from two teams, more especially with the Pirates. Shane, there's nothing wrong with playing the moment. I think these teams have showed us. I think they've mastered that. With the Orlando Pirates, I just feel like Jorge Rivero introduced that later into the game. It makes him a good coach, that he can identify, fix his into, implement certain strategies to get the Orlando Pirates where it is now. Because there was a period in the season where you felt more Peggy Pirates that you guys can concede anytime, that you guys can lose a match. But now you guys look solid defensively. It's not easy to beat Pirates, even though you should have lost this game. But to be honest with you, look at Imbiza, Orlando Pirates, something ngafunu ulong kuluma over and over again. Upeta bombogazi, bapeti bola, they are playing from deep. Bunala bombogazi bamba koni bola. And he waited for support from deep. It didn't come. He had to play the ball diagonal deep to Rilem Fuking. How many passes unkota namhlanje Shane begawamela so ball? BC plays very well at the back, contender for defender of the season. Mbata looks energetic, but on the ball can be better in terms of being imagination, progressing a play. You're looking at Unkota as well. First touch, let him down the boy today. Every time they got triple my opponent, Shane. But also, now I understand with Junior Utit's lack of confidence, Gumabas. But now he's not doing any justice, to be honest. I understand he's a striker that scores goals. But for me, Orlando Pirates is another team that needs to invest in a striker. To be honest with you, Shane, as much as it's Kalang Abu Shasha on the other side, sometimes he's not convincing in my opinion. And it makes it difficult to make a case for him. Yes, when he's given an opportunity, he will finish for you, just like a Renas. But if I'm being genuinely honest, Pirates Maizala, it always looks ngati there's no one in the front line. And it seems like Ngatabo Semi and these pyramid defenders were picking passes easily because via a counter press is not helping you guys. I know that is not easy, but at least Ibada, be a presence there. You understand? I'm a center back, I'm a defensive midfield, I'm that free. He minuses you guys in that aspect. He's always late. Yes, he's not playing, but he's always late. When the ball goes wide, you don't see him in the box. You understand? For me, I just feel like he has to work on his confidence because he's one of the strikers we have that score goals. But to be honest with you, I can't wait to see Uzake's back. Can't wait for Radipane to be given an opportunity next season, unless if they get another striker. But other than that, Shane, very surprised by the approach of Orlando Pirates, and a nil-nil draw makes it very difficult to analyze these South African teams because we're expecting both of them to at least have their game, a bit more intense than what it should be. Was it exciting to watch? I think most of us were stressed and nervous from a fan perspective. Was it enjoyable? I think we watched both these teams dominate us, to be honest with you. I think on the ball, I think they won their jewels. I think the only critical thing maybe I can have is the technical team here, Pyramids. I think the coach should have received a yellow card, red card, more especially in that decision where he was pushing the referee. Very emotional.
It will never happen.
Yeah.
I mean, North Africans can even push Urefli, push like physically.
Yeah.
Urefli won't do anything. I don't know what is it with our refs. As Funtela Ngabo referee, can you tell Lindo, the team coming into SA Pyramids, what do you think they identified Orlando Pirates? There's a big weakness they identified these weaknesses Orlando Pirates coming to Lomdala.
Yeah, what the coach actually spoke about it during the week. The Croatian tactician, he speaks about South African football being on the rise, speaks about the involvement as well as Stellenbosch. But I think they from the outside, they probably think South Africa has made good investment in youth, which gives us these new, young, quicker. They almost feel like it's Europe. It's almost like European, where there's a lot of young and very quick football players, which is an advantage. I was very worried about Turilem Fuking. They were very worried with the speed of Unkota and the technical ability. But also, I mentioned something about Tutito Maswangai being a player who's unpredictable, more especially in the pockets. Is one that was, I think, caused them a lot of problems today, taking shots outside the box. But Shane, it's very important for us to speak about the critical moment of the game. Was there an offside? In my opinion, I think it was an offside. Let it go, like a fist on Mayela Lokal. Because the first thing is it offside? Yes, correct decision. I think it was in an offside position. Because initially it's Bonu Dino van Rooyen. I thought Dino Mfaga on. But now the second thing is the interpretation. Shane, I don't think Umbogazi, for me, the interpretation says it's either you must be in control of the ball. I don't think Kumbokazi was in control of the ball, in my opinion. So when he touches the ball and Tlogol Tuli Fiston Mayela with a good finish, I think he was in an offside position. The second critical phase of the game as well is an offside goal from Uni Pyramids. I think it's a hand. It's closer to the body, the hand. But I think genuinely it was in an unnatural position for me. So that also makes it an offside. So a draw game, but I think, in my opinion as well, the Pyramids deserves to win the game. Looking at the fact that Fiston Mayela missed a golden opportunity. Lengwenya Mustafa Fati, the number 11, on the right hand side, dribbling wizard. And I think he's the one that also played well as Lentuzu Ture here in midfield. But to be honest with you, Shane, this team needs a lot of coverage in Egypt, because this team, we have an idea, but I don't think we have this idea that they are genuinely a good team. I think one of the things that you can identify from the team, Shane, away from the players that they have, I think structurally they look very good. I think they fight for one another. The experience helps as well, because there's not too many younger players. I think these coaches, European coaches, understand that this is business. This is the business end of the season. It's very important also to play with winners. Another thing that is very important to mention, Shane, is we've been critical of the North African teams, but I think what we've learned today, all of us as analysts, as while we're sitting here in studio, is the willingness to want to win. Why are they genuinely doing well when they get into this space? We saw Al Ahly, we saw Pyramids. I think, in my opinion, Shane, it takes more than talent to win this competition, but I think the hunger, the structure, the planning. I think these European coaches come into these North African countries and they understand their mandate exactly. But also, I feel sad for them at some point, because, Shane, it's sad to come into a team and having the responsibility to deliver. You see how they behave, Abu Nabi and all of these coaches. I think that derives from the fact that you don't win your football games, you lose your job. I think they are protecting their jobs. These coaches, they don't play to win. They play to not lose, Shane. Yeah. Which is exactly what Jorge Rivero did today, in my opinion. He did not play to win. He played to not lose. And for me, in African football, we have to get into a space where our coaches play to win, not playing not to lose. You watch these guys, I don't blame them, Shane. But overall, was it a good day of football? For sure. Was it a spectacle? For sure, 100%. I think the Egyptian teams came into this country today to give us games. And congratulations to the Egyptian teams, even though they did not score. I think it was an incredible Saturday of football.
Well, thank you so much, Lindo. Thank you so much. It is Orlando Pirates. Now I feel like Uguti, each and every team has that special player where he can just produce a goal out of nothing. And Ikamalolo player is Monapule Saleng. I don't care what is happening between the club and the player. I really don't care. Because I've watched this team reaching a final of the CAF Confederations Cup. At that time, Orlando Pirates was in a similar position with one player. Then he was their best finisher, Ukapadino Mango. They missed him in the final. He didn't play. They ended up losing the final. Now they are in the similar situation where you feel, Uguti, this team needs Monapula Seleng. I saw the starting lineup. I saw a bench. I saw there was Umako, there was Ushandu, there was Undlozi. Are you telling me, Uguti, Maukupa Ungota, you're going to bring in any of those three players?
Impossible.
Those three players combined, they are not better than Umonapule Saleng. So whatever Orlando Pirates has with Umonapule Saleng, they need to fix it. And Babeki Club, okay, we need to show him we are bigger than him. The club is bigger than him. But at the moment, the team needs Monapule Saleng. Now in those offices, they know this team needs that player, because he is one player who can just produce magic out of nothing. So I just wish and I hope Uguti, they don't repeat the same mistake they did in 2022 up against La Team. What's the name of that team?
Joining Galaxy.
No, the team Orlando Pirates lost to. The team that became better is Stellenbosch. Orlando Pirates play against that team. That team had nothing on that day. Orlando Pirates missed so many opportunities where you feel Uguti, 3 of those chances, Kapatino Manga will bury 1 or 2, but he was not there because the team was punishing him for reasons that are not related to football. So if Monapule Saleng is back in training, you know what we need him. And again, a field in.
Look, support Saleng rant Kushin. For me, in my opinion, you go to the start of the season. I don't forget, we were sitting here. The first person to create the first assist of the season in the MTN 8 is Monapule Saleng. Udlala la bola in the box as Koraban. Koro Olisandang is 10. he scored some important goals for Orlando Pirates in the start of the season. For me, what makes I have my own different opinions about Tosaling.
First game of the season,
First game, he scores. But also Shane, he scores in match of consequence.
Yeah.
He scores big goals for Orlando
Yeah.
Pirates in matches where they need a special player to come in. We might have different opinions about Tosaling.
Yeah.
But the amount of goals that he scores for Orlando Pirates, more especially in the business end of the season,
Yes.
I think he was going to be so crucial for you guys.
They need him. If I decide they're going to release him,
Yeah.
then play him because the team needs him now. Then end of the season, release him if you want to release him. But at the moment, you cannot run away from the fact that this is one of your best attackers. But it's Orlando Pirates nil, FNB Stadium, Pyramids nil. Thank you so much for watching iDiski TV.
For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiski TV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Vilakazi, they call me so. Niyazi bafethu, amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe